We're always taught to avoid it. We hear it's weak, it's clunky, it's bad writing. But what if all that's wrong? What if the passive voice isn't a mistake at all, but actually one of the sharpest tools you can have in your communication toolkit? Well, today, we're going to crack the code on this grammatical secret weapon. Okay, so to get started, let's put on our detective hats for a minute. Imagine we're at the scene of a grammatical crime, and we're looking at the evidence. In the statements we're about to see, something really important is, well, it's missing. You can see what happened, you get the picture, but there's this big question just hanging in the air. Who actually did it? Who is responsible for the action? Let's look at the evidence. Here's a classic. Mistakes were made. You've probably heard this one from politicians or CEOs, and there's a reason for that. It's so clever, right? We know, okay, mistakes happened, but the sentence completely avoids telling us who made them. The person responsible has just vanished. Or how about this one? My car was stolen. It's something you might actually say. And again, we know the unfortunate result, the car's gone, but the person who stole it, we don't know. So this structure pops up all the time in the real world whenever the doer of the action is a total mystery. So, what is this magic trick? What's this grammatical structure that lets you hide the subject or shift the focus away from them? Well, the solution to our little mystery is, of course, the passive voice. And just like any good code, it's got a surprisingly simple formula that we can crack right now. Okay, so here's the official definition. The passive voice basically flips a normal sentence on its head. See, instead of the subject doing the action, the subject is just sitting there and receiving the action. The spotlight moves from the actor over to the act itself. And that little shift, that's everything. And this is it. This is the secret key, the one simple formula that builds every single passive sentence you'll ever see. It's just a form of the verb to be, like is, are, was, were, been, plus the past participle of the main verb. That's usually the one that ends in ed or en, like eaten or stolen. If you get this formula, you've got the passive voice mastered. It's that simple. So how do we actually build one from scratch? Let's just walk through it step by step. First, you start with a simple active sentence, the children eat the cookies. Easy enough. Step 2, you grab the object, in this case, the cookies, and you make it the new subject. Step 3 is where we use our secret formula. The verb ate becomes were eaten. And then for step 4, you can add the original subject back in if you want with the word by. So, by the children. But here's the thing, that last part is totally optional and it's often left out on purpose. Now, here's where this formula gets really powerful. It's incredibly versatile. It's not just for one kind of sentence. You can apply this to almost any verb tense in English. Let's see how this one little pattern adapts. Just take a look at this. On the left, you've got your normal active sentences. On the right, the passive versions. But notice the pattern here. That main action word, the past participle done, it never, ever changes. The only thing that shifts is that little be verb to match the tense. Are done, were done, will be done, have been done. It's actually a really elegant and consistent system once you see it laid out. And all of this brings us right back to our original question. Why would you even bother flipping a sentence around like this? Well, here's the answer. Using the passive voice is almost never a mistake. It's a strategic choice. It's about taking control of what you want your audience to focus on. And really, there are 4 key reasons you'd want to do this. First, when the doer is totally unknown, like my house was vandalized. I have no idea who did it. Second, when the doer is just not important. iPhones are made in China, right? We care about the iPhone, not the specific person on the assembly line. Third, when the doer is super obvious. 10 men have been arrested. Arrested by who? By the police, duh. We don't need to say it. And finally, number 4, you use it to deliberately put the emphasis on the action or the object. For example, in the sentence, Apple was founded by Steve Jobs, the real star of that sentence is Apple. So when you put this all together, you start to see that the passive voice isn't some dusty old rule to avoid. No way. It's a precision tool. It lets you direct attention and tell a story exactly the way you want it told. It's all about mastering the focus. And this slide just nails that point perfectly. Look at the 2 sentences. Steve Jobs founded Apple. That sentence is all about the man, Steve Jobs. But Apple was founded by Steve Jobs. That one puts the focus on the company, Apple. See? Neither one is wrong, but they each put a different character in the spotlight. It's your choice which story you really want to tell. And that's really the bottom line, isn't it? This isn't about right or wrong grammar. It's a stylistic choice. Understanding when and why to use the passive voice gives you, the communicator, so much more control. It lets you shape your message with real intention, and that makes you a more effective and persuasive speaker and writer. So, the secret's out. The tool is officially in your hands now. The next time you sit down to write an email or tell a story or give a presentation, you have a choice to make. Are you going to put the spotlight on the person doing the action or on the action itself? The answer to that question will literally change the way you communicate.